She's watching you, but will never reach out. Here's why. Modern Stoic. Love is not about possession. It's about appreciation. Anonymous. Ever notice how she seems to know everything about your life, yet never reaches out? She might be obsessively watching your every move. She analyzes your stories, comparing them with her friends. No, she's the one who's always checking if you're online at odd hours. She knows who the girl in your photo is, and she's memorized your posting patterns down to the minute. To the outside world, it may seem like you're invisible to her, like she's moved on. But that's far from the truth. Here's the unsettling reality: the more she watches, the less likely she is to make a move. And it's not because she's disinterested. It's because she's deep into a psychological paradox that keeps her trapped in the silence. It's a behavior that is rooted in the complexities of the female psyche, where desire and fear intertwine. This is not just about playing games or sending mixed signals. This is about an internal conflict, a contradiction where deep feelings of attraction exist alongside intense self-protection. She's afraid that reaching out may expose her vulnerabilities. It's safer for her to observe from afar, wrapped in the comfort of anonymity. Understanding this will change everything. When you realize why she won't send that text, the answer will leave you feeling uneasy. It's a delicate dance of emotional restraint that's far more than just playing hard to get. It's rooted in something much deeper. 1. The truth about digital stalking. In today's digital age, there's an uncomfortable truth you must confront. We're watching you far more than you ever realize. It's not casual curiosity or simple scrolling, no. It's an obsession. We're not just glancing at your posts, we're studying them, carefully observing every single detail with a kind of fixation that borders on addiction. We screenshot your story at 3 a.m. just to analyze who else viewed it. We check your last seen status every hour, sometimes more, like clockwork. We dive deep into your tagged photos from 2019, tracing the path of your digital footprint over time. We memorize your posting patterns, down to the smallest detail. You posted at 11 p.m. last night. Who were you with? Why did your ex like that picture? You usually post gym selfies on Tuesdays, but here it is, Wednesday, and you've broken the pattern. We pick up on these subtle shifts and obsess over them. It's not just about curiosity, it's about gathering data, about feeling in control, and it's addictive. Research shows that this type of behavior lights up the same dopamine pathways in the brain as substance abuse. Every time we check, we get that rush, that hit of pleasure. It becomes a cycle we can't break, and the more we indulge, the stronger the pull becomes. But here's the thing. Despite all the energy, time, and emotional investment we pour into this silent surveillance, you'll never know we're watching. We are like emotional ghosts. We're there, but we're invisible. We care, but we remain silent. We're emotionally invested, but we never give anything away. We stay hidden, detached, and unreachable. Why do we do this? Because in a way, it feels safe. Watching you gives us a sense of control. It allows us to gather all the information we need without exposing ourselves or risking anything. When we watch from a distance, we don't have to reveal our vulnerability. We can stay connected to you, feel that emotional tie, but without the risk of rejection, without the need to make ourselves emotionally available. There's no danger in watching because we're not putting ourselves out there. But the moment we decide to reach out, everything changes. We lose that control and the power shifts into your hands. You now have the ability to ignore us, to reject us, or even to confirm our worst fears. That's when the danger becomes real. The moment we step into your world, we risk everything. The vulnerability, the fear of rejection, the possibility that you might not care. These are risks we're not willing to take. So instead, we stay in the shadows, safely observing but never fully participating. We remain emotionally connected to you, yet completely alone. This behavior, though it feels comfortable and secure in the moment, is ultimately a trap. It is the antithesis of the wisdom found in modern Stoicism. The modern Stoic understands that true strength is not found in clinging to control, but in the ability to detach, to observe the world and the people around us without becoming enslaved to the emotions they provoke. The blessing of Stoicism lies in this ability to live without being constantly tied to external validation. It teaches us that peace comes not from getting what we want from others, but from mastering ourselves, our reactions, and our emotions. Yet here we are, trapped in a cycle of digital obsession, unable to step away, unable to break free from the need for constant affirmation. The old Stoic knew that this kind of emotional attachment, particularly when fueled by fear of rejection, only leads to suffering. They understood that true freedom and strength came from living in harmony with what is beyond our control, not from trying to control everything around us, including how others perceive us. But we seem to have forgotten this wisdom in our frantic quest for connection in a disconnected world. We cling to our digital screens because it feels safe, yet the very act of avoiding real, vulnerable interaction isolates us more than it connects us. We're like silent observers, emotionally tied to others, but never truly engaging. We're living in a world where digital validation has become the measure of our worth, and the fear of losing control has turned us into passive, disconnected beings. The blessing of Stoicism, being able to detach from the emotional turmoil caused by outside forces, feels distant, almost foreign to us now. We are consumed by this need for validation, for connection, but too afraid to take the step that might bring us closer to what we truly desire: a meaningful, reciprocal relationship. The truth is, we're trapped by our own fears, our own inability to be vulnerable, and our addiction to digital observation. At some point, we must ask ourselves, is this worth it? Are we truly living, or are we just observing life from the sidelines? The digital world may give us a temporary sense of control, but in the end, it leaves us isolated, longing for something real, something tangible. The modern Stoic would advise us to let go of the need to control every interaction, to embrace vulnerability, and to step out of the shadows. It's time to break the cycle, to move beyond the fear of rejection, and to finally engage, fully and authentically, with the people who matter to us. Only then can we truly experience the peace and connection that we so desperately seek. 2. The fear of reaching out. But this digital stalking, that's just the surface of a much deeper, darker issue. Beneath it, there's an emotion so powerful, so paralyzing, it holds us hostage every time we even think about reaching out. It's an emotion that controls us more than we care to admit, and it's what keeps us trapped in this silent pattern of watching and waiting instead of connecting. The real reason we stay quiet cry, the silent killer, not the kind of cry that comes from pain or frustration, but the toxic kind, the kind that keeps us silent, hidden, and locked in our own heads. It's the kind of emotion that prefers suffering in silence over risking vulnerability. Let me break it down. This invisible wall, this crippling force, has a name. It's pride. But not the noble kind, oh no. This is a pride so steeped in fear that it prevents us from doing the very thing we want most: reaching out. We think we're protecting ourselves, but in reality, we're just avoiding the discomfort of being real. It's this unhealthy pride that whispers in our ears, don't text him, Don't be the one who always makes the first move. If they wanted to talk, they would have already. It convinces us that if we don't initiate, we're maintaining our self-respect. It makes us believe that holding back makes us stronger, that we somehow win by not showing interest. But what we fail to realize is this: deep down, it's all fear. Fear that reaching out means admitting we need something. Fear that we'll show our cards, revealing how much we care. And for us, the thought of caring more, especially when it comes to a woman, feels like losing. That's the problem with pride. It makes us believe that showing need is a weakness. But is that really the case? I've been there. I know that feeling all too well. Staring at your contact name on the screen for 20 minutes, contemplating every possible way to break the silence. You type a message, then delete it, type again, and delete once more. Each message you craft feels like surrender. Hey, how's your week going? Delete. Saw your story. Looks like you had fun. Delete. Random question. Delete. The messages vanish into thin air, just like your courage, because each one feels like an admission of weakness, a confession that you care more than you're willing to show. And so, we sit in silence, our pride keeping us from reaching out, while we consume every post, every story, like emotional food. We watch, we observe, we feel connected in some strange way, but we never let you know that we're hungry for more. Pride becomes our prison. It shackles us with self-doubt and fear, convincing us that any attempt to connect is an act of defeat. We watch from the sidelines, emotionally invested but always invisible. We never reveal how much we crave interaction, how much we want to break down that wall and be seen. Instead, we feed on the scraps you leave behind in the digital world, pretending we're satisfied, while inside, we're starving for something real. This, my friend, is where Stoicism comes into play. The Stoic lessons that have been passed down through centuries teach us something crucial. Strength is not found in hiding behind pride or avoiding vulnerability. True strength, the kind that comes from living the Stoic life, is about embracing the discomfort of vulnerability, stepping outside the shadows, and risking rejection. The Stoic mindset doesn't tell us to stay hidden, to hide behind screens and messages we never send. No, it teaches us to be present, to engage, and to rise above the fear of showing our true selves. In the ancient wisdom of the Stoics, we find the key to breaking free from the prison of pride. It's time to let go of the toxic fear that paralyzes us and step into the world, where reaching out isn't weakness, it's power. Fear of reaching out is a prison that only we can break. It's time to move beyond the silent obsession, to stop pretending that we're fine when we're not, and to stop allowing pride to keep us in isolation. We must let go of the belief that care equals loss. We must embrace the Stoic life, where vulnerability is not a weakness, but a pathway to freedom. Remember, the Stoic lessons aren't just for moments of peace. They're the tools we need when fear takes hold, when pride wants to win. So don't let fear trap you in the shadows. Don't let pride keep you from taking the first step. Be bold, reach out, and take back your emotional freedom. If you've ever let fear keep you from reaching out, you know exactly what it feels like. Now, I want you to drop a comment right now. I break free from fear and embrace vulnerability. Like this video, subscribe for more unshakable wisdom. And remember, strength isn't in silence, it's in showing up. 3. The fear of looking desperate. There's a harsh truth we must confront. Pride isn't just preventing us from reaching out. It's pushing us into a deeper, darker trap. It's a trap that forces us to play games, question our own desires, and ultimately makes us question everything we thought we knew about female behavior. You see, it's not just fear. It's the fear of looking desperate. It paralyzes us. It holds us hostage in a cycle of self-doubt and regret. To look desperate is considered social death, and that fear is programmed into us from deep within our evolutionary psychology. Historically, females who appeared needy were rejected by high-value males, and that instinctual programming still runs deep within us today. When we allow this fear to guide our decisions, it traps us into behaviors that keep us stuck in a loop of waiting and wondering. We've all witnessed the woman who overtexts, who shows up uninvited, who can't take a hint. She's desperate. She has no self-respect. And in our minds, we swear we'll never be her. So, we create rules to protect ourselves. Rules that seem like wisdom but are actually self-imposed chains. Never text first. Never double text. Never appear too available. These rules feel like armor, but in reality they're self-imposed torture. They restrict us, leaving us trapped in a cycle of mental agony. The heart wants to reach out, but fear holds it back. The rules become a prison we've built for ourselves. Here's what's going on inside our minds. Desire stirs. I want to talk to him. It's a natural human response, a desire to connect, to communicate, to be seen and heard. But then the fear creeps in. What if I look desperate? It's a paralyzing thought, one that causes us to second-guess ourselves and our instincts. Rationalization takes hold. If he cared, he would text me first. And so, we wait. We wait for him to make the first move, believing that if we just hang back, if we just play the waiting game, he will eventually reach out. But the truth is, this is not empowering. It's a passive act that only breeds frustration. We resign ourselves to silence, convinced that by waiting we're somehow preserving our dignity. But in reality, we're shackling ourselves to an endless cycle of inaction. The fear of desperation is a cage we've constructed for ourselves, one that keeps us from fully experiencing connection and intimacy. This, my friends, is where the Stoic principles come in. The Stoic philosophy teaches us to control what we can and let go of what we cannot. It teaches us that our thoughts and reactions are within our control, but external events are not. To live by these principles is to live with clarity and confidence, free from the shackles of fear. The fear of desperation is not a rational fear, it's a conditioned response, deeply ingrained in us by centuries of evolutionary psychology. The Stoics, including Marcus Aurelius, would remind us that the pursuit of approval, whether from men, women, or anyone else, should never dictate our actions. They would counsel us to act based on our values and desires, not based on the fear of how others will perceive us. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This is the essence of Stoicism when we allow fear, especially the fear of looking desperate, to control our actions. We give away our power. We surrender our agency to an illusion. The truth is, desperation isn't a reflection of need. It's a reflection of fear. It's a fear that leads us to suppress our own desires in the name of preserving a false sense of dignity. But dignity is not found in playing games or adhering to arbitrary rules. Dignity is found in acting from a place of inner strength, in being true to ourselves, and in mastering our emotions and desires. Now, let's be clear, this is not about disregarding your self-worth or appearing too eager. It's about finding the balance between being true to your desires and not being afraid to show them. It's about acting with purpose and clarity, rather than reacting out of fear. You must not let the fear of looking desperate control you. You must rise above it. The Stoic mindset is clear: we control what we can: our actions, our thoughts, and our emotions. We cannot control the behavior of others, but we can control how we respond to them. The most powerful action is often the one that comes from a place of inner strength and conviction. You are not desperate. You are deliberate. You are not needy. You are empowered. This is where true confidence is born, not from pretending to be aloof or distant, but from embracing your authentic self and your desires. You must remember you are in charge. You are the one who decides what you value and how you act. You must not let the fear of appearing desperate guide you. The fear of desperation is a lie. It's a tool that your mind uses to keep you in a state of passive waiting. But this is not living. This is merely existing. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This is the essence of the Stoic philosophy: stop overthinking and start acting. You are not beholden to anyone's expectations, and your actions should be guided by your values, not by the fear of looking desperate. You must take charge of your life, your emotions, and your actions. Don't wait for someone else to dictate when you should act. Step into your power and create your own path. Mastery over self is the true form of freedom. Freedom means never being enslaved by the fear of desperation again. It's time to break free from the chains of self-doubt and fear. You must act with intention and purpose. Embrace the power of your desires and never let the fear of appearing desperate steal your peace of mind again. 4. The rejection protection system. Let me lay something heavy on you. That fear of coming off as desperate, it doesn't just stop you from sending a text. It unleashes something far more dangerous: the rejection protection system. This is the psychological armor we build around ourselves, our fortress against the world, and it's an emotional defense mechanism that makes us so untouchable. We become unreachable. The truth is, if we don't reach out, we can't be rejected, and if we don't try, we can't fail, and if we don't ask, we can't hear the dreaded no. It's simple, right? Avoidance feels safer than vulnerability. But let's pause for a moment. Let's dig into this twisted logic that so many of us fall into. As long as we don't reach out, there's always a chance, just a small chance, that the other person might say yes. If we never ask, we never have to hear the painful truth that they're not interested. The potential of maybe is always better than the crushing reality of no, so we find ourselves in a strange, suspended state of indecision, stuck in that haunting limbo of possibility. We stay here because it feels less scary than confronting the certainty of rejection. We fool ourselves into thinking that the dream of maybe is somehow better than the real answer. But here's the gut punch: this protection is a trap. It doesn't just shield us from rejection, it isolates us from connection. You're not just protecting your fragile ego, you're locking away your heart. And every day you stay in this state, the walls grow taller, the silence grows louder. The longer we stay inside this bubble, the harder it is to break free. Ask yourself, how do you even begin to reach out to someone you've watched from the sidelines for months without saying a word? How do you explain that 6 months of silence, or worse? How do you explain why you never responded to that last message? How do you bridge a gap that you yourself have created? The longer you delay, the bigger that wall becomes. And eventually, reaching out doesn't just feel uncomfortable. It starts to feel utterly impossible. It's not just the fear of rejection anymore. It's the weight of all that time, all that distance you've put between yourself and the person you want to connect with. This is where the wisdom of the modern Stoic comes in. A true Stoic understands that avoiding rejection isn't the same as finding peace. The blessing of Stoicism lies in accepting the realities of life, including rejection, but also in embracing connection, real, honest connection, without the fear of failure paralyzing you. This is the old Stoic way, not running from discomfort, but facing it head-on. If you keep hiding behind this protection mechanism, you'll continue to build walls around your heart, making it harder to experience the true joy of meaningful relationships. The longer you let this cycle continue, the more it will feel like a fortress. So, step back, think like a modern Stoic, and realize the only real protection from rejection is the ability to reach out anyway. Stop imprisoning your heart. Stop letting the potential of maybe keep you from the reality of connection. There's no better time than now to break through the walls you've built. Rejection is inevitable in life, but so is connection. If this resonated with you, comment below and share it with someone who might be struggling with similar thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom on self-growth and Stoic philosophy. Comment to remember I am ready to connect and break through my barriers. 5. The secret power game. She's watching you, but she'll never reach out. And before you start thinking it's all about pride, fear, or even manipulation, let me tell you, it's far deeper than that. It's a battle of emotions, a strategic game that's often not even consciously played, yet its effects are real, its consequences profound. Sometimes, women don't reach out because they want to test you. This isn't about control or revenge. It's about needing to see something that proves your interest, your commitment, your desire. I texted last time. Now it's his turn. She may think, if I always reach out, he'll think I'm too available, and I don't want that. I need to see if he'll fight for me. There's a truth hidden in the silence. She's silently observing you to determine if you'll break first, if you'll show up for her. It's an unspoken challenge, a trial by fire. And yet, this test has no guarantee of success. Because here's the kicker, silence often leads to rejection. You, as the man, might not break. You might move on. You might take her silence as a sign that she's not interested. You may find someone else, someone who's willing to communicate openly, someone who doesn't play these emotional games. And in that moment, she'll be left watching from the sidelines, seeing you thrive, seeing you heal, but still holding on to her pride, too afraid to break the silence, too afraid to risk being vulnerable. But here's the twist in the story. Sometimes, that silence is not because of pride or manipulation, it's because she loves you too much. Yes, it sounds counterintuitive, but hear me out. She watches you. She watches you live your life, move forward, and she wonders if you're better off without her. Maybe he's better without me, she tells herself. Maybe I was the problem in this relationship. Maybe I should let him go. Maybe I should just stay away because that's what he needs. So she stays in the shadows, silently cheering for you from a distance, watching your successes, celebrating your wins, hoping you'll find happiness without her. She convinces herself that the most loving thing she can do is stay away, let you be, let you grow. It may break her heart, but in her mind, she's making the ultimate sacrifice. That's what love looks like to her. But here's the truth, it's not love. It's fear masked as nobility. Real love doesn't stay silent. Real love doesn't hide in the shadows. Real love reaches out. It communicates. It fights for connection. But fear keeps us from being real. Fear keeps us in silence, watching from the sidelines. It convinces us that distance is devotion, that silence is sacrifice, and that's where we go wrong. Real love is a choice. It's an action. It's not passive. It doesn't wait. And this is where you, as a man, need to understand the truth of it all. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, often said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." What he meant is that you have control over how you act and what you decide to do, regardless of the emotions and fears that may grip you. When you love, you act. You don't wait. You don't hope. You take responsibility for your actions. You show up. And in the context of a relationship, that means you must break the silence. Don't wait for her to test you. Don't sit in the shadows, hoping she'll make the first move. Stoic principles teach us that we must actively choose to communicate, to fight for the connection, to make our intentions clear. What is it that we value? Marcus Aurelius also asked. The things we control. We control our actions. We control our choices. The things we cannot control should not control us. Don't let the fear of vulnerability dictate your actions. Don't let silence control you. Silence in relationships is never the answer. If you want a connection, you must create it. Take action. Make the effort to show her that you care, that you are willing to invest in the relationship. Silence may seem like the noble choice, but in reality, it is the easy way out. It's passive, it's reactive, and in the end, it leaves both parties longing for something more, stuck in a dance of unspoken words and unmet needs. And as Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is your opportunity to take control. You must not wait for her to break the silence. You must not allow your fears to dominate your actions. If you want to move forward, you must show up. You must fight for the connection. You must communicate. The power lies in your hands. You control your actions, your responses, and your relationship outcomes. Don't wait. Don't hope. Don't sit back and allow fear to dictate your life. Take charge of your destiny, your relationship, and your future. If you want her to reach out, give her a reason to. Make your intentions known. Make her feel secure. Show her, through your actions, that you're willing to put in the effort. The right man knows when to act and when to step up. This is your time to prove it. Real love, true love, doesn't sit back and wait for the other person to reach out. It communicates, it fights, and it takes responsibility for its own path forward. When you embrace this stoic mindset, you stop playing games, you stop waiting in the shadows, and you start taking the lead in your own life and in your relationships. Let your actions speak louder than silence. Let your words be clear, concise, and decisive. Don't wait for the silence to speak for you, Speak for yourself. This is how you win. This is how you master your relationships. This is how you become the man you are meant to be. All right, my friends, we've laid it all out for you, Lintham. Now you understand why she's watching but never reaching out, why it feels like she's emotionally stalking you in silence. It's not just one reason. It's layers upon layers of complex emotions and psychology working against her. But here's the truth. If you're waiting for her to make the first move, be careful. You might be waiting forever. Not because she doesn't care, but because her own fears and pride are holding her back. So here's my advice. Don't stay in that silence. Take control of your own life, your own path. You deserve to move forward, not stay stuck in that emotional limbo. Understand that if she comes around, it's because she's worked through those fears herself. Thanks for watching this one. If you found this video valuable, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more psychological insights that will open your eyes. And if you're curious about how she might be feeling now, Go ahead and click on my next video about the 5 stages she goes through when she misses a man she took for granted. Trust me, it'll help you understand her better. Take care, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.